Okay, well, we're starting this afternoon's session, and we're really excited to welcome everybody with Nurses Week. Happy Nurses Week to everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Norma Tomlin. I'm a proud RPN and the Director of Professional Practice here at We RPN. Today, I'm honored to be your facilitator for this Nursing Week session, Wellness and Movement. First, I'll start off with the land acknowledgement. We would like to begin this session by acknowledging that WeRPN is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe peoples. With this, we respect the long-standing relationship that Indigenous nations have to this land, as they are the original caretakers. We acknowledge historical and ongoing injustice that the First Nation, Inuit, and Métis peoples endured in Canada, and we accept the responsibility as a professional organization to contribute towards revealing and correcting misinformation as well as renewing respectful relationships with Indigenous communities through our teachings, research, care provisions, and community care and services. I would like to now acknowledge all of Ontario's registered practical nurses across the continuum of care. We would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to you all for all that you are doing and all that you continue to do every day to take care of Ontario patients. Your care makes a difference, and we want to wish you a very happy Nurses Week to all of you. As this is a virtual attendee, you can watch the presentation live and engage throughout the chat the presentation through the chat and the Q&A. Please let us know where you're viewing from today in the chat. We'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. If you require technical assistance, you can see in the chat that at the beginning I've put ITSL's contact information in there. Please reach out to ITSL at igonzalez@werpn.com. Again, her email address is in the chat if you have any technical difficulties, or feel free to contact her via phone 416-302-9940, and ITSL will be happy to assist you. Again, you'll find that information in the chat. At the end of the session, we will be announcing the winner of this session's door prize. You must be in attendance to claim your prize, so stay right through to the end and see if your name will be drawn for one of our Nursing Week prizes. I now have the honor of presenting our speaker for this session. So Amanda Lambert is the founder and the CEO of Strong Minds, a health and wellness company headquarters in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Prior to founding Strong Minds in 2017, Amanda received her Bachelor's of Education from Lake Superior State University and is a registered health and exercise practitioner through the Ontario Fitness Council. Amanda bases her approach to client care and programming off of her own life experience with eating disorder and trauma. She believes that exercise is medicine and is passionate about complementing existing treatment plans with movement therapy and whole body approaches to wellness. Amanda's main focus is integrating physical health and fitness as part of a well-rounded therapy care plan. As part of this innovative vision, she personally developed the fitness-based therapy model that is the cornerstone of Strong Minds' unique approach, and includes DBT skills such as mindfulness alongside various forms of physical activity tailored to clients' specific needs and abilities. I'll now hand it over to our guest speaker, Amanda Lambert.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm going to share my screen here.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay, and one second. Let's try this again. Share screen. There we go. And don't mind my desktop. Okay. So thank you for the lovely introduction. I'm so happy to have the honor and privilege of, being able to educate some amazing nurses today. I love that Norma had reached out, and at first I really wasn't sure how I wanted to put this presentation or workshop together, but I got some really great feedback from Norma, and I really do think that you guys are going to be really empowered and you're going to really learn something today. So I really don't need to introduce myself because Norma did such a great job. So this virtual workshop is brought to you by Strong Minds. So I wanted just to give you a little background of what Strong Minds is, because some of you might not even know what the company is or have never heard of it before. So Strong Minds is a health and wellness company that specializes in fitness-based therapy. We use physical activity as the first line of treatment in people's recovery, both mental and physical, and strive to focus on the health needs of clients according to individualized care and treatment plans. Our services include respite relief, personal training, fitness classes, movement therapy, counseling and coaching, corporate wellness, and health and wellness presentations. Whole body health should always be a priority, and we are here to help our clients succeed in reaching their goals. As a company, we focus on how to make being healthy interesting, fun, and effective, and to provide alternative treatment options to help with clients' mental health on their recovery journey. Our wellness providers can be relied on for trust, support, and guidance, and we will provide the best care possible as we bring clients through their chapters of their this chapter of their life, the chapter to their healthiest self. So in a fast-paced and emotionally demanding environment of healthcare, nurses stand on the front line facing unique stressors that can significantly impact their mental health and overall well-being. So recognizing the critical need for support, this comprehensive presentation has been designed specifically for nurses, focusing on stress, mental health in the workplace, and practical strategies to prevent burnout. This presentation aims to empower nurses with knowledge and tools to foster resilience, promoting a healthier work-life balance, and enhancing patient care quality. So I absolutely love this quote that we found. So nurses are heroes, but even heroes need support during tough times. I truly could not even imagine how difficult your job is. I have friends who are nurses, and I just know how challenging the position actually is. And you being nurses, you're always supposed to wear this armor around you. But reality is that during tough times, you guys need the support. You guys need all of the support to be able to do your job better. So the things that we're going to be learning in today's workshop is recognizing stress signs. So learn how to effectively recognize stress and burnout. We're going to also talk about prioritizing mental well-being. So exploring the importance of mental health in the nursing profession. Building coping skills. So discovering strategies to improve mental health and resilience. Incorporating physical activity and breath work. So determining how to implement physical activity into your regular routine and use breath work as a tool in times of stress. And discovering fitness-based therapy. So learning about the fitness-based therapy model as part of a whole body holistic wellness plan. So before I even keep this screen on, can some of you think of some common sources of stress? So if you guys, I don't know how, if Norma would be able to allow more of a participation, but does anyone want to raise their hand or speak out in terms of common sources of stress? What are some things that come to mind when you think of that? Or if someone asks you that, what are some common sources of stress in the nursing profession?
So Amanda, Andrew says management is one.
Yep.
Lorianne says patience. Brittany says high acuity in patients and additional time constraints. Chanel says workload. These are all very common, what we hear every day in practice for sure. Brittany says staff shortages. And Jessica says staff shortages as well. So that resonates there with everybody.
Yeah. So what we kind of put together was the same things that were just kind of said. So long hours, high patient loads, emotional toll from patient care, the pressure of making critical decisions under tight time constraints, exposure to trauma. I couldn't imagine being a nurse. I actually, fun fact about me, I went to school for 2 years for nursing. And I knew that I wanted to help people, but I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This is so hard. And so I don't even know how, I don't have the right to say like things are hard or not because I'm not a nurse, but all I know is that I did go to school for 2 years of nursing and I truly wanted to help people, but I just knew that I would not be the best nurse. And I know that there are so many amazing nurses, and then there are some nurses that, are really, it's like any profession, paycheck nurse, paycheck teacher, their heart's not really into it. So that exposure to trauma is huge. You guys see a lot of things in a shift that is very challenging on the whole entire nervous system. Workplace violence and bullying, lack of autonomy and support, the ever-changing complexity of care, the physical demands, like you guys are on your feet, depending on what kind of nurse you are, right? But if you work at, hospital or even like long-term care, you're standing for long periods of time. Like that is physically like really challenging on the body. And then ethical dilemmas, right? I couldn't even imagine the things that you were faced in terms of that. So it's
I'll
really important to
just
acknowledge. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's just to mention a couple more comments in the chat
Yes,
that we'll
please.
highlight. One was requests to take more on, and that came from Courtney. Margaret says lack of management support and ever-changing requirements. Luann mentions family commitment along with very hectic work life. And Robin says unrealistic expectations from family. And Andrew mentions the personal issues at home, right? So that life work life balance. So just wanted to acknowledge those comments as well.
Absolutely. Yep. It's important to acknowledge these stressors not as a sign of weakness, but as a step towards seeking solutions. So burnout is a serious issue that many nurses face due to the demand and nature of their work and various stressors they face. Here are some signs of burnout for nurses to be aware of. So feeling emotionally drained and exhausted even after a good night's rest, constantly feeling overwhelmed and unable to cope with the workload, loss of interest in activities that were once enjoyable, difficulty concentrating and making decisions, increased irritability and impatience with colleagues or patients, physical symptoms such as headaches, muscle tension, or stomach issues, insomnia or changes in sleep patterns, isolation and withdrawing from social interactions, decreased job satisfaction and a sense of disillusionment with nursing, frequent illness due to a weakened immune system from chronic stress. So how many of us have potentially, might have felt some of these? I can't see you guys, but I'm not a nurse and I have experienced burnout many, many times. And these are a lot of the signs that we need to really be mindful of, especially that irritability. I have a 3-year-old. So oftentimes, like if I'm feeling like really irritable with him, a good chance is like, I'm exhausted, I'm burnt out, I need a break. And the thing is, how can we be the best healthcare profession if we are really experiencing these symptoms, right? So it's really something that we need to be very mindful of. And if we are feeling these signs of burnout, then we need to really address those. So it's important for nurses to recognize these signs early on and seek support to prevent burnout and maintain their well-being. Taking care of oneself is essential to providing the best care for patients and fostering a supportive workplace culture.
Yeah, there's definitely some agreement there, Amanda, with some of the participants mentioning, yes, they've been there. And one participant mentions the statistic that 62% of nurses are suffering from depression and mental health issues. So it's very real, and so it's resonating with the participants today and what you're saying. So
Thank you. So number 2, prioritizing mental well-being. So mental health is a crucial aspect of nursing for several reasons, encompassing both the welfare of the patients and the well-being of the nurses themselves. So in the realm of healthcare, nurses are on the front line providing not only physical care, but also psychological support to patients. So this dual role makes their understanding and management of mental health imperative. So for patients, a nurse's ability to recognize and address mental health issues can significantly impact their recovery and overall well-being. Mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety can coexist with physical health problems, complicating treatment and recovery processes. Nurses with a strong grasp of mental health can more effectively communicate with patients, provide emotional support, and implement care plans that consider both physical and mental health needs. So this holistic approach to patients' care promotes better outcomes and supports the patient's journey towards health in a more comprehensive manner. So for nurses themselves, the demanding nature of their job can take a toll on their mental health. The high stress environment, emotional challenges, and the physical demands of nursing can lead to burnout, anxiety, and depression. So kind of what Norma just said, that someone had put a stat in the comment among healthcare workers. So acknowledging the importance of mental health within the nursing profession is vital for creating a supportive work environment that it encourages self-care, peer support, and access to mental health resources. So this not only helps in maintaining a healthy workforce, but also ensures that nurses can provide the best care possible to their patients. So the importance of mental health in nursing is twofold. So affecting both the providers and recipients of healthcare and highlighting the need for a comprehensive approach to health that includes mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Okay. Does anyone have any questions so far? To my understanding, in the RPN program as well as the RN program, is there a class or do you guys learn a lot about mental health in the programs that you have to take to become an RPN?
So the RPN program's pretty compressed. It's 2 years,
Yeah.
and you kind of become a generalist. You learn a little bit about everything, and so it's highly compressed. I don't know if there's any students watching, but they might be able to chime in on the chat. But there is an element certainly of mental health, not probably as in depth as taking a continuous education in that area, which in fact many RPNs do.
When I took the nursing program, oh gosh, it had to be like almost 10 years ago now. But we all recognize that there wasn't a lot of education around like mental health. And in my opinion, I really do think that the RPN program should have a little bit more about like how to help patients regarding mental health. And I know that it's pretty compressed, but yeah, and it's not even just the nursing program, like even other healthcare professions. I find that mental health, like you learn a little bit about it, but not to the full extent that would probably benefit you in the workplace.
So a couple of comments from the chat is that
Yes.
there are some, one comment was not for themselves, not for ourselves. We don't learn mental health for ourselves as nurses. There was a comment here where we did learn about mental health in the third semester, mental health illness and pharmacological treatments. And then in 2019, one of the participants have said that they touched on patient care, but not again for themselves around their own wellness. Still very stigmatized, Lorianne mentions, and we didn't focus again. There's not a focus on your own self-care. That is definitely still missing, I think, from nursing programs,
Yeah.
and their own mental well-being. And again, another comment was they focused on mental health for patients in one of their terms. So there's definitely a mental health component to patient care for sure, but it sounds like not for oneself.
Yeah, and I really think that should be changed. They really should be, having how can a new nurse, especially a new nurse, right? Like I couldn't even imagine being a very like fresh nurse, like being, thrown into the workforce and then just being exposed to all of, the things that you guys see in a day. So yeah, it would be really neat to see if the curriculum changes to be able to give some education to the nurse. I mean, you guys learn so much about how to care for patients, but there's not, things that are being taught to help yourself in the new position that you guys will be going into. So the third thing, so building coping skills. So prioritizing self-care. How many of us in the group right now can say that we prioritize self-care? I'm still constantly trying to do this. The thing that I'm currently working on is a better nighttime routine. I'm a night hawk. I try so hard to go to bed early, and I am also a little bit of a workaholic. So I really need to try to implement that work-life balance. But yeah, how many of us can say that we are prioritizing our self-care?
We've got one comment here that says, "Not really," so that must mean not too much.
Honesty is the best policy. Yep. If there's moms in the group too, right? Like we tend to put our career, our families, we tend to put all of our needs last. But in reality, we have to really think about ourselves, because how can we be, healthy for our patients and for our family and for ourselves? So self-care is essential in managing stress and preventing burnout. Nurses should ensure that they are getting enough rest, eating a balanced diet, and engaging in physical activity. So setting aside time for hobbies and activities they enjoy outside of work can also help in disconnecting from the pressure of the job and rejuvenating their mental health. So before I go to the next slide, when I say that nurses should ensure they are getting enough rest, eating a balanced diet, and engaging in physical activity, how many of us can say that we are doing that right now?
So there's a number of comments that have come in on this topic for sure. Somebody says they're trying to. It takes a lot of self-awareness and practice to make sure that they're doing that. That's Brittany. And Jessica is saying, I'm trying to work on it. So there's an awareness for sure. That's fantastic. Um, Lorena says that it's hard to do it when you're in school. Absolutely. That balance when you're studying is it's not easy. You've got deadlines in front of you. Robin says, I'm starting working 2021 and I am in the community and it's an expectation. And it is exceptionally overwhelming due to full autonomy. I constantly work past my shift and make sure patients get their visits. You're such a good community nurse, Robin. Thank you. But I'm hoping and glad that you're here today to learn some of the skills that Amanda has for you all. I've tried during my 2 weeks vacation, Lorena has said. Margaret has absolutely crashed and burned out about 15 years ago. Wow. And yeah, so it's not new to the profession, that's for sure. Robin says, I think that it is true, but nurses do learn a lot from working with and doing health teaching with them. And Chanel says, very hard work, mom, everyone else other than me. Grace says, need to work on it. I signed up for a gym, but I only go maybe once a month. So bad. Whether it's getting better now, so hopefully going out for walks for sure. And Lori Ann says, school, work, family, volunteering is overwhelming most of the time.
Yeah, I just feel like, there's like just lots of pressure on us in general that we have to, and I was just saying this to my therapist not too long ago. I came into session and he's like, how was your week? I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I have to be a healthy mom, a healthy boss. I want to implement more self-care. There's just so much things that we know that could better ourselves, but yet, there's so much that we are responsible for that sometimes our self-care gets put to the back burner. So I totally understand where you guys are all coming from. I might not be a nurse, but there are days where I'm working, 16-hour days too, and it's a completely different capacity that you guys are in. But Definitely trying to prioritize that self-care. And I'm hoping that today, after really being a part of this workshop, that you will, leave today and really keep this, in the back of your mind where you need to do this. You deserve to implement self-care. Okay. So practice mindfulness and relaxation techniques. So incorporating mindfulness and relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, exercises, meditation, or yoga into daily routines can significantly reduce stress levels. These practices help in staying grounded and focused in the present moment, enabling nurses to manage their emotions and reactions to stressful situations more effectively. How many of us in the group practice yoga or any kind of mindfulness or breathing?
So Robin here says it took me 20 years to learn to say no to overtime. Wow. And
Wow.
Jessica has mentioned that yes, she does hot yoga and breath work. Wonderful, Jessica. Courtney does Bhattai yoga. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but that it sounds good. And Luann does mindful breathing. She comments mindful breathing really helps. Tammy mentions meditating. So there are some really good practices that are being done already, which is fantastic.
That's absolutely amazing. It's funny because during the pandemic is when I got my yoga training. And I used to be like someone who was like, oh no, like I don't like yoga. Like I don't feel like that burn, like I used to love doing like HIIT classes and burpees and all that. And during the pandemic, when everything, was closed, I had a baby. And I just really felt super uncomfortable in my skin. And I just was always complaining that I wanted to be more flexible. So I got my yoga training and it has significantly changed my life for the better, where I literally I'm a more patient person. I can manage my emotions so much more. And now that, I'm a mom of a toddler, I really, it's actually, I don't know if it backfired on me, but when my son gets like overwhelmed, I'll kind of teach him how to breathe. So if I get frustrated, my son will be like, Mama. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I really, if you haven't tried yoga or you're like, oh no, that's not my thing, I honestly highly, highly encourage you to start. And you don't have to be good to even start. Even just being in like that mindset with other people and really practicing that breathing and the yoga poses can significantly help you. We now implement this into all of our clients' care and treatment plan, and we've seen even significant changes in our own clients' behaviors. So,
I can see here too in the chat, Amanda, that there's some sharing of apps that people use for meditating. So
yep.
Chopra is one of them. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to look at it. Margaret says that she spends as much time as she can in the forest. That sounds wonderful. And especially since the weather is getting better now, it sounds even better. Courtney says Insight Timer is another great app for meditation. So
Yep.
thanks for sharing those. That sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you. I love that you guys are being engaged today. So thank you for that. So the next thing, so engage in professional development. So sometimes the root of stress and burnout can be a feeling of stagnation or lack of fulfillment in one's role. So engaging in professional development opportunities can reignite a sense of purpose and passion for the profession. Whether it's attending workshops, kind of like what you're doing today, pursuing further education, or seeking new certifications, professional growth can be a powerful antidote to burnout. So I know that when you're a nurse, you can be, a nurse who works in emergency department, public health, long-term care. So every kind of nurse's responsibility and scheduling is completely different. So if you're feeling like, like I love being a nurse, but I really don't love working in this department, the beautiful thing about your profession is that you don't have to stay in that unit. You could maybe reapply and work on a different unit, or you can work in healthcare, or sorry, in public care if you're already working kind of in long term. So there's lots of flexibility within your profession. And I don't know, if like where you all are located. So I don't know if like, jobs are limited, but what I'm trying to get across is that if you're feeling like stuck in your position, you're like, oh, like I really love helping people, but I just don't like working in this, department. There is so much flexibility for you guys to be able to still feel fulfilled in your job, but just maybe, having to find another type of nursing that you like. Where are some, right, like the individuals that are involved with the presentation today, where do you guys work? Is it long-term care in a hospital setting, public health? Do a lot of individuals that are here today work like shift work? I couldn't even imagine working shift work. Like that alone is like a whole workshop in itself. So are there some nurses here today that work like that, 9 to 5, or are there most people that are here working shift work?
So Jessica says that she's working nurse management in retirement homes and elderly, with the elderly and palliative care, very hard work. Tammy's currently working in position, or she's leaving long-term care to start her own advanced foot care business. And then we have Lorianne, she's in hospital ED 2 days on, I guess, 2 nights, 5 off. Oh my goodness, good for you. And then we have a student here who's in their pre-grad. We're so happy to have students and welcome students to the profession. Thank you. But so she's not yet in the field. So I'm so pleased to see you professionally engaged already. So you're on the right track. And again, another nursing student. So Robin says that they're working 8 to 4 outpatient Jerry rehab, and Luann is working 8:30 to 4:30, however, on call 3 days per week. We've got Kathy, who's in long-term care, and she's a RI coordinator doing 9 to 5. And yeah, Professional Association of operating room. So they're casual. And that's Michelle Sparks. She works, of course, for us in our Begin program. And, to your point, Amanda, nursing is such a broad scope of practice that there's just so many amazing things that you could be doing, and you don't have to be stagnant in one area. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to put a plug in for our career direction support at WeRPN for all of our members. So if they're feeling like they need some support, members get the opportunity to connect with our professional practice team to really have that career conversation. So just putting that out there to all of our active members, that's available to you as a member of WeRPN. We want to support you in your success in nursing. We've got, I see a whole bunch of students, which is great. Self-employed community, nights, 12-hour shifts, 7 shifts biweekly. Ooh. We've got Courtney between nursing jobs right now and looking. And we've got Alex, who's again, school nurse, but working a variety of shifts with on-call and casual at the hospital. So it's just 24/7. We've got a whole group of people here just working continuously. We've got Andrew, who's 9 years on DDNN in the hospital. DDNN, maybe you can write that out for me because I'm out of hospital for quite some time. Andrew, I'd like to know what that actually means. And occupational health nursing. So wow, what a variety and a broad scope of practice all of our participants have. It's amazing.
Is anyone that's here today, does anyone work on the mental health unit at the hospital or in any kind of capacity with mental health?
We just have Chenille, who says she's the fireman's shift, 2 days on, 2 days off. Yes, it looks they have past work experience with mental health. Courtney does. So there are some that look like that they have that type of background and experience too.
Awesome. Okay. So then setting realistic goals and boundaries. So I think someone had said that it took them 20 years to say no to overtime. So that would be a good example of setting realistic goals and boundaries. So nurses often face a high workload and the expectations to go above and beyond for their patients. It's important to set realistic goals and boundaries to avoid overcommitting. Learning to say no or delegating tasks when possible can help in managing workload and preventing burnout. So that's huge, right? I also have a hard time saying no. So trust me, you're not alone on that. But I'm curious. So why almost did it like take you, or why did it take you almost 20 years to say no to overtime? Is it, did you feel bad that you were letting, your boss down, or, a lot of people take overtime because it's extra money, which who doesn't like that, especially in times of inflation. But if you don't mind sharing, can you maybe say why it took so long to be able to say no to overtime?
So just while that's coming in, perhaps Tammy mentions here working long-term care is having more and more younger people who are suffering from mental health. We currently have 3 residents between the ages of 50 and 60 years of age with mental health. So I think it's fair to say that every sector of the healthcare system right now, if you're working at the point of care, you are working with patients who are potentially experiencing mental health issues for sure. And so somebody said at the time, I worked in long-term care and the patients were more like family. So perhaps, Robin, that's one of the reasons it's hard to say no, hard because that those patients rely on you and you see them as family. Nurses care so deeply for their patients. They truly do. And it's RPNs, that's evident every day. We see that at the point of care. And so we have Luann saying everyone was working overtime. And so to support the team, we all worked overtime. So it was not just you. Wow. Courtney says, didn't want to let the team down. Emotions of guilt, repeating phone calls from shift coordinators to fill shifts around the clock. Jessica says, I find I am too much of a people pleaser. So this is the characteristics of nurses. We want to take care of people. And Lorianne says management tends to pit people against each other. You don't want to let your coworkers run short. We're very committed to our teams and each other as nurses as well. So when your manager asks you in person, it's hard to say no and decline. And then Robin says, "Oh my gosh, 1,000% that to you that." Courtney, and repeated calls wear you down, and it's hard to say no. So you feel like you have to say yes. So it's that ongoing pressure within the nursing profession, the staff shortages. You don't want to let your patients down, and caring for your team.
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you for sharing. So then seeking support. So having a strong support system is vital. Nurses should not hesitate to reach out to colleagues, friends, or family members when they're feeling overwhelmed. Many healthcare institutions also offer counseling services, so EAPs or support groups for their staff. So sharing experiences and coping strategies with peers who understand the unique challenges of the profession can be particularly beneficial. So I truly hope that wherever you're located, wherever you work, that you do have that support. And if you don't, then I'm really hoping that, we can come up with a plan to see how we can get you that support, because having a strong support system is vital. Whether you're a nurse, a mom, just like any profession, you need to have a solid support system. And if you're not getting that from management, then it's almost like time to have that conversation. Maybe we should have another workshop for management to be able to really make them aware that having a solid support system is vital for the health or for the nursing profession. Do you guys currently have EAPs available to you? And do you feel like you have a strong support system?
We're seeing a lot of yeses come in through the chat,
Right.
Lori. So there does sound like there's some support that's available. And so it looks like, yeah, several yeses to that.
Good. I highly encourage you to use your counseling services, because depending on, the type of nurse that you are, like if you experience trauma, like use those counseling services, because I couldn't even imagine with the things that you see in a day, or what you can see in a day, like that, that puts a lot of, you know, um, trauma situations, like not only to the mind, but to the body. We store trauma in our body, and we'll kind of get to that in a little bit. But it's really important that if you are experiencing some of these things at work, that you really utilize your counseling services. It's there to help you. And and if you're someone who's like kind of like, oh, counseling's not for me, you really can just like almost think of it as just someone that you can like explain what has happened in a workday without any judgment. And it's a safe environment. It's confidential. So I would highly, highly encourage you to use your counseling services through EAP if they are available.
Yes, a few comments from independent nurses where they feel alone, they don't qualify for counseling services offered by the hospital because they're traveling nurses. Frontline Wellness Program in Ontario is a very helpful and it's free. So I think that that's a great resource, and we likely have that link on our website. And somebody questions the confidentiality as well, that they've had perhaps not a positive experience with confidentiality. So it's important to seek that help in a safe environment for sure.
How many EAPs like do you guys receive? Like, is there like 20 a year, or is it like 5 a month, or does it depend?
So the professional practice team, we have built in a self-care resources on our website. We have multiple resources on our website for self-care, and we receive calls. We receive calls every day, not necessarily just about self-care and requiring support for one's own wellness, but many other practice issues. So it can vary, but I can tell you that our self-care resource toolkit in the last with our last annual report, the numbers were over 5,000 hits for that year, and 5 to 10,000 hits to our toolkits throughout the year. So they're being utilized.
Awesome. That's great. So number 4, so incorporating physical activity and breath work. So physical activity and breath work are essential components of a nurse's well-being. By integrating simple exercises and mindful breathing techniques into daily routines, nurses can enhance their physical health and mental clarity, leading to improved patient care and overall job satisfaction. It is crucial for nurses to prioritize their own wellness to provide the best care to others. So nurses often find themselves in a unique position when it comes to incorporating exercise into their busy schedule. So long shifts, demanding workloads, and the emotional toll of patient care can make finding time for a workout very challenging. Me saying that sentence, how does that ring true to a lot of us? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a comment here in the chat that I want to acknowledge, and I totally agree with you, Andrew. Andrew says that he thinks that managers need to be trained on recognizing stress and burnout, and not to take a hands-on approach to the issue. So we need to stop victim blaming the nurses for the lack of resilience and start changing the issues caused, or changing the causes of the issue. And we wholeheartedly agree with you there, Andrew. I
Oh yeah.
definitely, it's a multi-pronged approach to supporting the profession, and your point is well taken.
Absolutely. Yep. So because you guys experience long shifts, demanding workloads, and the emotional toll of patient care, I could see why finding time to actually implement physical activity can be challenging. So integrating simple exercises into the workday can really help improve physical health, reduce stress, and enhance overall well-being. So today I'm going to teach you guys 5 simple exercises that nurses can do at work without needing any equipment, or you don't even need a lot of space at all. So the first one, I'm going to go through them all, and then we are going to go through them together. So the chair squat. Okay. So this is an excellent exercise for strengthening the legs and the core. Chair squats can easily be done during a short break. So basically you're going to stand in front of your chair with feet hip width apart. You're going to lower your body down as if you were going to sit, and then stop just above the chair before standing back up. So you can do this, you can do anywhere. I had put 10 to 15 repetitions. You can do 5, 5 to 8, 5 to 10, as many as you possibly can. I wouldn't do any more than 15, and depending on what your comfort level is, okay? Oopsies. Oh, there we go. It was a glitch. And then the second one, so wall push-ups. So this is ideal for strengthening the upper body and core. Wall push-ups can be a less intense alternative to traditional floor push-ups. So basically you want to find a clear wall space, stand an arm's length away and place your palms on the wall at shoulder height. Bend your elbows to bring your chest closer to the wall, and then you're going to push back to the starting position. Okay, so you can aim for 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. Okay. Then we have leg raises. So to help strengthen the lower abdomen and hip flexors, leg raises can be performed while sitting. So you can sit on the edge of the chair, straighten one leg out in front of you, hold it for a few seconds before lowering it back down. Repeat with the other leg and try doing 10 to 15 reps for each leg. Okay. Then we have calf raises. So a simple exercise to strengthen the calf muscles. Calf raises can be done almost anywhere. Stand up straight, then push through the balls of your feet to raise your heel until you are standing on your toes. Then you want to lower back down gently. So this can be done while standing in place or holding onto a chair or desk for balance. And if you want more of a challenge, you can keep your arms at its side. Okay. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. And then shoulder blade squeezes. So this exercise is great for improving posture and relieving tension in the upper back. So while sitting or standing, imagine you are holding a pencil in between your shoulder blades and squeeze them together. You want to hold for a few seconds and then release. Okay. So incorporating these simple exercises into your workday can make a significant difference in your physical and mental health. They can be, like I said, they can be done in a break room, on your desk, at your desk, or in a small space available to you. Remember, even small amounts of physical activity can add up to big health benefits over time. So if you truly don't have like an hour in your day to go to a gym, or if, like maybe going to a gym is just not your thing, I cannot stress enough how important it is to move your body, to be physically active. So if we are currently not physically active, that is totally okay. I want you guys to truly start, because at one time in my life, I very much viewed physical activity as like, like I want to look a certain way, beach season's coming. But I now look at physical activity for so many different reasons. I want to be a healthy grandma when I'm older. I want to be as active as my mom is with my 3-year-old son. I want to be I want to be able to have energy as a mother, right? Being a mom of a toddler is just so stressful sometimes. So like he's so on the move, where it's really important to be able to implement physical activity so we can keep up with our children. I teach a lot of falls prevention for older adults. I love working with older adults. And my favorite thing that I like to say is that you're not old. You just have to move your body. A lot of times people say, oh, I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that. And that's just not the case at all. You have to move your body. It is so important to be able to move your body. And if we can really start slow, by even incorporating these 5 exercises, your body will start craving it. Like these exercises will significantly help you in, when you're working a 12-hour shift. And I know that it's hard to get those breaks, but if if you're someone who doesn't take your breaks, I would really try to start taking, even one break to be able to have time to obviously nourish our bodies by eating, but also even just doing even one set of all these 5 exercises. And you'll even significantly notice a difference when it comes time to having to make like those critical decisions on the spot. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice these together. So I would encourage you not to use a chair that has wheels like me, okay, because you can fall. So I'm just going to move that off to the side. You guys can still see me, right?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay, awesome. So for the chair squat, so we're going to sit in our chair, okay? So we're gonna have our backs not up against the chair, okay? We're gonna have our feet shoulder width apart. I usually like to tell people to start in the sitting position versus standing. So we're going to sit in our chair. We're going to stand up. When we stand up, we're going to squeeze our bum together. Then we're going to slowly bring our hips and bum back as if we're sitting back in the chair and then standing back up. So I want us to do 10. I can't see you guys, so I'm trusting you that you're gonna do some of these. Okay, so we're gonna do 10. You can keep your arms out if you'd like. Okay, make sure that when you're standing up though, that you're actually squeezing your bum together, okay? A lot of people think that a squat like targets our legs, which it does, but it's more of a glute exercise. So our glutes, our bum has 3 major muscles and it's our whole body is a chain, right? So if we can have a strong glute, that's going to help us have a strong lower back. That's going to help us have a strong core. Okay. And having those 12 to 16, sometimes 18-hour shifts where you're on your feet, your body's going to very much thank you for being able to do this. There we go. Okay. Last one and break. Awesome. The next one we're going to do is our push up. Okay. So just find a wall. Okay, you're going to place your hands on the wall. Your fingertips are going to be at eye level. So if your hands are up here, if you're looking straight ahead and your hands are all the way up here, you want to slide your hands down. And if your hands are too low and you're looking and your hands are not at eye level, bring them up. Okay, the further away your feet are from the wall, the more challenging that push-up's going to be. Okay, so you're going to bring your feet back, shoulder width apart. You're going to bring your body towards the wall and then push off. Okay, so we're going to try for 10. Perfect. Awesome. And last one for me. And break. Well, push-ups can actually be very challenging, so there we go. Leg raises. So you're going to sit on your chair. Okay. I would prefer to not have your back up against the chair. Okay, you're going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to lift one leg, whatever leg you want to start. You're going to hold it. You're going to feel that burn. I'm already feeling it. Hold for like 5 to 10 seconds, drop, and then switch sides. And switch. I'm going to do a few more. If you want more of a challenge, you can keep your arms out. Okay, I don't know what just happened. My music just turned on. There we go. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe we should have music. There we go. Awesome work. Couple more. Okay, last one for me. Perfect. Then we have our calf raises. Okay, so calf raises are awesome. I absolutely love them. You can hold onto the back of your chair if you'd like. If you're someone who doesn't need that for balance, then you can just eliminate your chair. So you're basically just going to lift up on your toes and you're going to come right back down. Okay, again, if you want more of a challenge, you can keep your arms straight. Okay, sometimes if you lift up, you might kind of lose your balance and like go forward, totally normal. Just kind of get right back into position, up and down. Do a few more. Awesome. And then we have our shoulder blade squeezes. I hope you guys like my images. They're actually really hard to find. So what you're gonna do is you're basically gonna pretend that your shoulder blades are holding a pencil. So you're basically just gonna squeeze your shoulder blades together and release. Release. There we go, a couple more. And break. Not too hard, eh? How many of us have tried? Did any of you try with me? Or
So a
was I
few
by myself?
no, that was great, Amanda. A few comments. I have to laugh. JP, one of our staff, he says he once heard from somebody say that the primary reason people go into long-term care is because they can't sit up or stand up from the toilet. So he really likes the chair squat idea. I think that there's a good incentive right there.
Yeah.
Courtney says, that I do the heel and toe raise using the bottom step of the staircase. And Jennifer agrees with her. And Lorena said, I did. It was amazing. So we've got some hands up that yes, they did it. And they really liked the demonstration. They would love a copy of the exercises, of course. And Jessica says, I appreciate it. While working in the office, I can do these to get moving when I've been sitting for too long. Deborah said she tried it. Margaret tried it. So we've got some people moving this afternoon, which is
Good.
fantastic. That's amazing.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I want to be mindful of the time, but there's a couple more slides. So I can totally understand if you guys have to leave, but if you do have a few more minutes, please stick around. So incorporating breath work into your workday is a powerful way to manage stress, enhance focus, and boost overall well-being. Given the fast-paced and often high-pressure environments we find ourselves in, integrating mindful breathing exercises can serve as a bridge to better mental and physical health. Incorporating breath work into your workday doesn't require significant time commitment, but offers substantial benefits. By starting your day with intention, taking short breath-focused breaks, and ending with a session to unwind, you can enhance your productivity, manage stress more effectively, and foster a healthier work-life balance. So here's how you can seamlessly incorporate breath work into your daily work routine. So start your day with intentions by dedicating a few minutes to breathing exercises before you dive into your work. This could be as simple as taking a deep breath, slow breaths for a minute or two, focusing entirely on your breathing, such as practice can help center your thoughts and prepare your mind for the day ahead. It sets a calm, focused tone, reducing morning anxiety and increasing your ability to tackle tasks with clarity. Throughout the day, use short breath work breaks to reset and refocus. So this is especially useful during moments of high stress or when transitioning between tasks. So you can try the 4-7-8 technique. So we can do that together right now. So you're going to inhale for 4 seconds. You're going to hold your breath for 7 and exhale slowly for 8. We're going to do it 2 more times. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. And 1 more. Hold. Exhale. So this method is known for its ability to relax the nervous system and can be a quick, effective tool for managing stress on the spot. Incorporating these mini breath work sessions can be as simple as setting reminders on your phone or computer, ensuring you take regular pauses to breathe and recalibrate. Lastly, conclude your workday with a brief breath work session to signal to your body and mind that the workday is over. Okay, so transitioning into your personal or family time. This can help in releasing any stress accumulated throughout the day and improve your evening's quality, making it easier to unwind and enjoy your off work hours. A simple 5-minute guided breathing meditation can suffice, focusing on letting go of the day's stresses and grounding yourself in the present moment. I cannot begin to describe how significant and important breath work is. So I'm so all about physical activity, and I've already stated, if we're not moving our bodies, we really need to, but breath work is where it's at. I'm someone, like I said, I have a 3-year-old. I'm overstimulated quite often when I'm with Vexton because he's just so high energy and I just breathe. And when we're breathing, what we're actually doing is we're helping calm our nervous system. And if you are a nurse, if you're like an ER nurse where you're basically on you're hyper aroused all day because of the nature of your job, your nervous system is it's you're basically fight or flight mode the whole time. So it's super important that when we start our day to breathe, to go into work, setting really good intentions. And then when we're done work, to when you're in your vehicle and you're about to drive home, stay in your vehicle and do a 5-minute guided meditation or even just breathing, because, if you've had a really, really hard day at work, I don't, and you're driving home, your family's excited to see you, but yet you're like, depending on the situation, you probably had a really hard day. But then you have like, maybe little ones or a partner that's really looking forward to seeing you. So having a moment to be able to decompress like is super huge. And that's with even, anything. If you are, even if it's your off day and you're just feeling overwhelmed because you have to go back to work the next day, right? Breathing and helping yourself regulate will do wonders for you. So the last one, so discovering fitness-based therapy. So what is fitness-based therapy? It's grounded on the principle that exercise can improve both mental and physical health. It's a structured individualized, as tongue twister, it's a structured individualized program where a wellness provider will meet the individual where they're at and support their transition into recovery and or wanting to achieve their optimal mental and physical health. Fitness-based therapy can be implemented into your own care and treatment plan or be utilized with patients under your care. So how fitness-based therapy is unique. So while personal and group training and fitness-based therapy similarly focuses on improving one's physical strength, endurance, and overall health, fitness-based therapy is different in that it encompasses a whole holistic approach. So FBT places emphasis on the individualized fitness care program that transitions into a whole body wellness program. It targets mental health in addition to the physical aspects and unifies dialectal behavior therapy, DBT principles, together with yoga-based practices. FBT is a mind and body program with goal settings, life skills, yoga, educational guidance, mindfulness, and personal and group training. Here is a nice visual of the fitness-based therapy model that I've created. So we have our client goals. So our FBT, fitness-based therapy, is an individualized fitness care program based upon each client's unique goals. And the key word is unique. Okay. I really, with my lived experience with my own mental health issues, what I've really noticed is like, a lot of times you're put on like this generalized plan and it's not a unique or individualized plan. And so I really emphasize that each person has their own unique goals. So then we have our physical health strategies. So this can include yoga, individual or group training. Okay. It could also include swimming, walking, HIIT boot camp classes, mental health strategies. So this can include mindfulness, DBT skills, individual counseling or group programs, and then the whole body wellness. So achieving their mental and physical wellness goals. And then our application. Okay. So our first initial assessment is an opportunity for the care team to communicate the client's needs and our diagnosis in a safe and non-judgmental environment. From here, we determine how Strong Minds can assist to reach their goals. Then in the second stage, Strong Minds would develop a plan for the client's care and treatment in conjunction with a multidisciplinary team. Then the third phase is where we would implement the objectives developed during the previous phase and begin integrating the elements of care and treatment that were identified to assist the client in reaching their goals. Then we have our fourth stage, which in this phase, we critically evaluate the client's progress to determine improvement and areas to place more focus on. And then our last phase, which would be independent continuation. So Strong Minds' long-term goal is to set our clients up for success so they can live independently and autonomously while implementing acquired skills into their own care plan. So Strong Minds will continue to support the client as they integrate what they've learned through our program into their day-to-day life and routine. And lastly, how you can incorporate the principles of fitness-based therapy into patient care. So incorporating the principles of FBT into patient care is a valuable strategy for promoting overall health and facilitating recovery in various medical conditions. The integration of physical activity can significantly enhance patient outcomes by improving physical strength, mental health, and quality of life. Here are several ways healthcare providers can embed principles of fitness-based therapy into patient care effectively, but not even to patient care, but even to your own. So implementing appropriate exercises, tailoring exercise to the individual needs and limitations of patients is crucial. Healthcare professionals should assess the patient's current health status, medical history, and personal preferences to incorporate regular exercise that is both safe and effective. This may include a mix of cardiovascular exercises, strength training, flexibility exercises, and balance activities, and adjusting as the patient progresses. Incorporating physical activity into daily routines. So encouraging patients to integrate physical activity into their daily lives can make fitness a more manageable and sustainable habit. Simple recommendations like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, engaging in short walk breaks during the day, or doing seated exercises for those with mobility issues can significantly contribute to the patient's overall health. And then educational workshops and resources. So providing patients with education on the benefits of physical activity and how to exercise safely is vital. Workshop informational brochures and online resources can equip patients with the knowledge they need to engage in fitness activities confidently. Covering topics such as the importance of warm-ups and cool downs, how to recognize the signs of overexertion, and ways to stay motivated can empower patients to take an active role in their health. And incorporating the principles of FBT into patient care requires a multifaceted approach considering the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of individuals. It is essential for healthcare providers to recognize the importance of integrating fitness programs and activities into patient care plans. By promoting regular physical activity tailored to each individual's needs, providers can help improve overall health outcomes and quality of life. Additionally, addressing mental and emotional aspects of fitness, such as stress management and mindfulness practices, can further enhance patient care and contribute to a whole holistic approach to wellness. Embracing a comprehensive view of fitness and patient care can lead to better health outcomes and empower individuals to take an active role in their well-being. And that is it. So I left some of my information here if anyone does want to take a picture of that, or I can certainly send that off when I send Norma. I'll create like a document with all of those images of the exercises so that you guys can have. But if anyone has any questions for me, I definitely don't mind sticking around to answer any of those. And the last thing I want to say is, even though I was kind of saying here how, how can nurses incorporate the principles of fitness-based therapy into patient care, this is also things that you can do for your own care plan. Okay.
Amanda, this has been really fantastic. We're seeing a lot of comments. Thank you so much, Amanda. They really appreciate it. They love the webinar. They appreciate the information. It's just really, you've got people out of their chairs. So that was fantastic. And so lots and lots of thank yous. So if I could just actually, I'm going to have you stop sharing your screen so that I can jump in and just for a few closing comments in our slides. I think this will do, and I know, bear with me. There we go. Okay. All right. So again, it was really a very engaging session, and I will let this audience receive some of the compliments for all the engagement that they have contributed very much so to this presentation, and we really appreciate that. So it was rich in conversation through the chat, and so thank you so much for your participation. We want to make a few announcements, RPN announcements, of course. First, I would like to remind everybody that there's still space for other activities this week through Nursing Week. And so if you wish to register for other Nursing Week events, please visit our Nursing Week webpage on our website. Secondly, we're happy to announce that the nominations for the RPN Awards of Excellence is now open. These awards are meant to recognize an exceptional RPN who demonstrates excellence performance in their field, and we encourage you to nominate a deserving RPN for one of these awards. So these awards are presented every year at our annual general meeting, and this year's annual general meeting is October 24th in Waterloo, Ontario. Registration for the event is now open, and we really hope that you'll be able to join us either in person or virtually to connect with us as your professional